Good morning. Welcome to Ready, Set, Connect. As we approach the end of a busy school year, many students are looking forward to spending some downtime with family and friends, relaxing by the pool, taking trips to the beach, traveling, and much more. Although fun in the sun awaits you, the summer presents a great opportunity for you to spend time thinking about your future and begin planning for college and career. My name is Samantha Turner, and I'm the Workforce Development Coordinator for the Midlands Education and Business Alliance. It is with great pleasure that I introduce today's guest speaker, Midlands Regional Career Specialist, Ms. Lisa Call.
Good morning.
For more than 15 years, Ms. Call has been assisting students in the Midlands plan for college, career, and citizenship. Ms. Call is here today to provide you with some summertime tips that will help you plan for a future so bright the world will need shades. In an effort to improve the quality of this webinar, the video camera will be minimized during the presentation and we will return for questions at the end. Also, I would like to ask our participants to stay muted during the presentation. If you have questions for Ms. Call, please submit them using the chat box at the bottom of the control panel. If time permits, we will answer them at the end of the presentation, and if not, we'll follow up through email. Okay, well, good morning, Ms. Call. Thank you for being with us today as we talk about summer planning for a bright future.
Well, good morning. As Samantha said, summer is a time for relaxing. What I want you to do is think about what you're going to do this summer. I want you to sit back, relax, take a deep breath, and reflect on your future. I want you to reflect on what you'd like to do over the next 20 or 30 years. It takes a lot of planning, so you have to be very vigilant at figuring out what you want to do. Now, what I'd like you to do is think about what are your favorite subjects in school? Do you like taking art? Do you like music? Do you like dance? Are you an English enthusiast? Think about those classes that you enjoy and think about how they could correlate to a career. What clubs do you enjoy? Are you an FBLA, DECA, HOSA, Future Business Leaders of America? What are you involved in? Again, think about those different types of clubs and organizations that you enjoy and think about how those could transfer over to a career. Maybe you want to be a teacher of one of those different types of clubs. So think about that. What activities do you enjoy? Do you enjoy sports? Maybe you'd like to work in an athletic arena one day. Maybe you'd like to be a coach. What are your hobbies? Do you like to shop? Do you like to read? Do you like to antique? What are some of those fun things that you enjoy doing? Turn those passions into a career. Do they make you happy or excited? You want to make sure that whatever career you choose or direction you choose, you enjoy it, because we as adults work a long, long time and you want to make sure that you're doing something you enjoy. They always say, and I'm sure you've heard this, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And you think, oh my gracious, I get paid to do this. So make sure you're thinking about something, doing something that is exciting to you and that you enjoy. Now, I'm sure many of you or most of you have taken an aptitude test or career assessment with your guidance department. Make sure that you are looking at those results, seeing what they tell you, but don't take those as, oh my gosh, it says I've got to do X, Y, or Z, and this is all I can do. These assessments are to give you some guidance, a little bit of direction. They're not telling you you've got to do this particular career. So make sure that you're taking some assessments, seeing what, things that you enjoy. But if it kind of puts you in a direction that you don't really think you would enjoy, then, move on and look at something else. Now, next, you've kind of got to figure out what kind of lifestyle would you like to provide for yourself and maybe even a family later on. Do you want to live at the beach? Do you want to live in a large city? Do you want to live in the country? You've got to think about what type of occupation will let you live in those particular areas. Now, do you want to live in an apartment? Do you want to live in a home, a house? Do Do you want to live in a condo? Again, start thinking about those sorts of things so that you can figure out, okay, I might need to make $50,000 a year to live, in Charleston, South Carolina, doing a particular occupation, or I may need to make $30,000 or $100,000, whatever it is. Start thinking about those types of decisions, what type of lifestyle you want to have. Now, I will tell you, and I'm sure the other adults listening and in your classes would tell you, you definitely do not want to do something just for the money. You want to make sure that you're doing something because you love it. It's truly, truly not worth the money if you are unhappy, if you are miserable going to work every day. So, reality check, you can go to scoas.net and actually take an assessment, a career assessment, and it will give you a little bit of guidance on what career options may be good for you. Now, again, as I was talking, if you think you want to be a marine biologist, you may want to live on the coast. It may be a little easier to get a job in that occupation living close to the water. If you want to be a fashion designer, yes, there are some opportunities in the Columbia area, but not quite as many as there would be in, say, New York City or Los Angeles, Paris, Rome, some of those fashion centers. Again, so think about that. Do you want to stay home, close to home? Do you want to get away from home? So think about those things when you are sitting back at the pool this summer wondering about your career. Now, the next part is going to be our real world experience. Volunteering, and many of you are doing it now in your high schools with blood drives and collecting shoes and collecting gifts for needy families and things of that nature. I encourage you to continue to do that because that only makes you a better person. That helps build your resume, and you're not doing it just to build your resume, but that does help build your resume, things that you are doing volunteering. Now, hospitals have volunteer programs, junior volunteer programs. You do need to make sure that you check the ages because there are age requirements on some programs. But most of our hospitals here in the Midlands, I believe it's after 14, you are eligible to get into the hospital and do a training session and then go and volunteer. So that's a good way to kind of get your foot in the door and see how that environment works. Another great opportunity is working at a local animal shelter or rescue center if you are interested in working maybe with a nonprofit or being a veterinarian. Now, one of my favorite things to talk about is job shadowing. Job shadowing is so important, and I've seen this firsthand. I used to teach high school in South Georgia. I had a young lady who knew all she wanted to do was be a nurse. All of her high school career, she took health science classes. She took those upper level math and science classes because she wanted to be a nurse. Her plan was set. She was going to go to Georgia Southern University, get her 4-year degree in nursing, and go into the nursing world in a hospital, and life was going to be good. Second semester of her senior year, we placed her at Meadows Regional Medical Center in Vidalia, Georgia, for her to do actually not a job shadow, but it was actually an internship. But this was her first time really in a business, kind of seeing how nurses interact. She had done all of the book work. She had done all of the work with the mannequins and things like that, but it wasn't realistic enough. Day one, we put her out in the hospital in the emergency room. I mind you now, this is where she wanted to be. She wanted to be in the emergency room where all the action was. I get a phone call at school. Miss Call, Dana has passed out. Of course, I'm scared to death. One of my students has had an accident. I get to the hospital. I said, Dana, what happened? She said, oh, Miss Call, everything together. She said, I do not want to be a nurse. She started crying. Her parents came. They were distraught because she had this game plan in place. And I said, back up, time out. You are a senior in high school. You haven't gone through your 4-year experience yet. Let's back up and punt. I said, but really, you've always wanted to be a nurse. Why did this experience not work well for you? She said, just the sights, the smells. She said, everything together. She said, it stinks in the emergency room. She said, people are grouchy. She said, there's blood. I said, okay, not a problem. She needed that experience to show her that that was not what she wanted to do. So we put her in several different areas in the hospital. She went to the lab, she went to dietary, she went to radiology. She didn't like any of those. Finally, she found her love in physical therapy. And today, she is a successful physical therapist, loving her job. But she would have never known she didn't want to be a nurse if she hadn't have gone out and done that experience. So it's just as important for you to go out and experience life and jobs and careers, and maybe yes, maybe no, but it's just as important for you to figure out what you don't want to do as it is what you do want to do. Now, on the other hand, I had a young lady who wanted to be a veterinarian. She went to a local veterinarian shop one afternoon to job shadow. They hadn't set up an internship yet. She came back to school the next day and said, Miss Call, that was the most wonderful experience. She said, being a vet rocks. I said, okay, well, tell me a little bit more about it. And she said, I got to sit in on a surgery. She said, they let me put gloves on. I got to dab up blood. She said, I even got to test a stool sample and look for worms. And I thought, oh, how gross is that? But she loved it. She said, this is what I want to do. It was great. The next semester, she actually spent interning at this local veterinarian's office. And today, you guessed it, she's a successful veterinarian and loving what she does. But I hear a lot of times that a lot of, especially young ladies, want to be veterinarians because they love animals. And that's fabulous. Again, like I said, you've got to love what you do. But do you love animals that may be bleeding, have been hit by a car? Do you love animals that have sores on them because of abscesses and things of that nature? So, and if you do, that's fabulous. A vet is a perfect career for you, or a vet technician. But if you don't, then you may want to look at something else. Job shadowing is extremely important, no matter what type of career. If you want to be an architect, if you want to be a welder, if you want to be a teacher, go spend time working, shadowing, asking questions of people that are doing that job, what they like about it, what they don't like about it, and really get a flavor for, is this something that I want to spend a large part of my life doing? Now, I say that, you probably, as high school students, middle school students, there are jobs out there, careers out there that haven't even been invented yet. So you all are going to be changing, careers multiple times during your life. But again, you want to make sure that you're doing something and you get the education to give you a good background to be able to change, to be able to, adapt and go into different areas as they come available and as you see fit. Now, another great way for you to get some experience is a part-time job. And it may be at McDonald's, it may be at Subway, it may be working at the local mall. Any of those experiences are great because they're giving you customer service experience. They're showing that you are reliable. They're showing that you stick with things. Now, I would encourage you, if at all possible, to get a job, a part-time job, maybe even during the summer, during school, what have you, in an area that you have an interest, because that's only going to complement your high school and college careers. So I encourage you, part-time job is fabulous. Now, continuing with the real world experiences. While you're in middle school and high school, make sure that you're joining clubs or organizations that you have an interest in, something that's going to help, again, build that resume, give you some experience, give you some leadership skills. Do you want to join the robotics group because you're interested in engineering? Lego group because you're interested in engineering? Health Occupation Students of America, HOSA. Are you interested in healthcare? Are you interested in being a future business leader? FBLA, student council. All of those things come into play when you're looking at your career. So make sure, again, that you're doing things that you have an interest in. Don't just do it to build your resume. Don't try to join 15 clubs because you think that's what a college is looking for. What a college is looking for, what a scholarship group is looking for, what a business is looking for, is they're looking for students who have been involved and had leadership roles or active engagement in clubs, but not so many that you really couldn't get anything out of it. Now, summer camps and programs. There's so many great summer camps and programs out there for you at the elementary, middle, and high school levels. First, check with your local district, your school district, to see are they offering any summer camps during the summertime for you to go to. They may be doing one on agriculture sciences. They may be doing one on healthcare. They may be doing one on recycling, or they may be doing one on STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. Check with your local schools first, your local district, and then out of the district. I know we have several districts here in the Midlands that have summer programs that offer them to any student that is willing to come and attend the program. So make sure that you're checking on those summer programs first and foremost in your local schools. Then check with community groups. Check with places like Adventure and the State Museum, the Art Museum. They all have summer camps. The University of South Carolina has several cooking camps during the summer. There are so many opportunities out there for you to gain some real world experience and have fun. And that's what it's about. You don't want to let your summer fly by and you not have made some decisions, started thinking about your career, started thinking about your college, where you'd like to go. But again, keep those things in mind. Now, a couple other programs that are integral, very, very important here in the Midlands is the Lexington Medical Center Partners Program. That is a program that Lexington Medical Center does during the summer. It's a very competitive program. They take 60 students over a 3-week period and they immerse them in the hospital setting, letting them gain leadership experience, learning how the hospital runs, working with professionals at the hospital. If you are interested in a career in healthcare and are in Lexington County, that's a wonderful program to be involved in. It is competitive. Those applications normally come out either right before Christmas or right after Christmas. So make sure, again, you're checking with your school counselor, going back in there, asking them what opportunities are available. Another great opportunity for summer camps and throughout the year, ITology. They have Cyber Saturday programs where middle and high school students can come in once a month and do things such as make an app, do coding, learn how to tear down and put back together a computer and things of that nature. They do a lot of different activities at ITology, so that's a wonderful, wonderful partner if you would like to get involved in the information technology arena. Now, I know you don't want to do research during the summer, but with the internet now, you guys can find just about anything at the touch of a button. So start looking at what careers may be right for you. Do you like working with people? Do you like working by yourself? Do you like working inside? Are you better at working outside? Would you rather be outside, maybe pruning trees or working in the lawn, something like that? Think about those things that make you happy, and then again, continue to research. What level of education is required? Is it a certification? Many opportunities now, business and industry want certification. They're not so, not so interested in if you've got a quote unquote degree, but it's a certification. I'm not saying degrees are bad because they're great, but many occupations now require an actual certification as opposed to a college education. Do college and career tours, college tours for colleges and universities. Figure out where you would like to go. Figure out whether you'd like to go to college in the upstate or in the low country. Do visits. Take your parents with you. These colleges and universities are always open to bringing young folks in so that you can see what opportunities are out there. And I've been on several this year with my daughter, and it's been eye-opening to see the great opportunities available here in the state of South Carolina for these great colleges and universities that we have. Work with your school counselors again and your business partners that you're working with for scholarships. Check and see what scholarship opportunities are out there, because there are many, many scholarships available. You want to make sure that you're working on your applications early. You don't want to wait to the last minute. You want to start working on your essays. Have your English instructor, have your parents, have someone at the library look at your scholarship applications and help figure out, okay, is this a good fit for me? Does this sound good? Have I filled everything out correctly? So that you can get those funds to go to school. There's no reason that any student should have an issue with going to school. There are funds out there. You just need to be very diligent in working with your school counselors, your parents, your business partners, maybe your part-time employer, even your parents' employers sometimes have scholarships and or tuition reimbursement for students. So make sure you're looking at all those options. Now, I want you to understand the difference between a scholarship, a grant, a loan, and work study. A scholarship, that's funds that you do not have to pay back. You are given to use to go to school. A grant, the same thing. They may have stipulations, but you do not have to pay those funds back. Of course, a loan, just as it implies, you are borrowing money, and you will have to pay that back once you go finish your degree and you start working. So make sure that you're being very diligent in using the funds that you're given, and don't take out tons and tons of money just to travel or to go somewhere for spring break or to buy a new wardrobe. You want to make sure that you're using those funds, because you don't want to get out there when you have your career and be strapped having to pay for student loans. And then work study. This is something I did when I was in college. You actually worked at the university. I worked at my university, and I got paid to do it. So I didn't have to go off campus. I didn't have to waste gas. I could actually work there, and I got a little bit of extra spending money to use for college and the things that I was doing. So there are a lot of options out there. Just start your research early. Don't wait till the last minute. Keep organized, stay organized, and again, work very, very closely with your school counselors. They're your best friends, guys. You have to understand that. Those folks are so, so important when you are applying for scholarships and looking for colleges and things of that nature. They know these colleges and universities in the area, and they know what may be the best fit for you and can make some wonderful recommendations. So continue to work with your school counselors in your area. Now, make sure that you're taking time to talk. If you have a mentor, a pastor, an adult friend, your parents, discuss what your interests and passions are, and then kind of let them give you a little guidance as to where they may see you. Now, I say that because sometimes I've heard it. I have parents that say, oh, my daughter or son would be a great lawyer because they like to argue. Well, that's not all a lawyer does. The majority of what a lawyer does is actually prepping for the case and doing research. So if you like to research, you'd be a great lawyer. If you don't like to research, you might have to work at it a little bit. But again, talk with your parents or an adult mentor and discuss your interests and passion and kind of see where they see you. And then again, continue to explore. Discuss opportunities to learn about careers with your teachers. Your teachers are an invaluable resource. There may be occupations that you've never heard of that your teachers know about. Your teachers are continually learning about opportunities by visiting hospitals and visiting different manufacturing facilities and different businesses so that they can upgrade their skills and help you make a better decision. So make sure that you're asking those adults that you're working with in your school every day. And again, your school counselors, I can't say it enough, those folks and your career specialists are really an asset for you. Now, sit down with your family at some point and figure out, discuss with them, how are we going to pay for college? Maybe your parents have savings that they've saved for college. A lot of folks don't. So figure out, make sure that you're applying for financial aid. Again, make sure that you're applying for those scholarships. And then determine what you need to do in high school to prepare. Make sure that you're taking the appropriate courses. If you want to be a doctor, go into the healthcare profession, you need to be taking upper level math and science. If you want to be an artist, then you need to be taking those art courses. You need to be taking courses maybe in business management, because one day you might need to help manage your money when you're selling your beautiful paintings or sculptures or, artwork. So again, determine what you need to do in high school to help prepare for your future.
One thing I would add, Ms. Call, this past October, I got to meet with some students who were doing their college applications, and one thing I felt and was concerned about is that students weren't looking, say for example, you had a student who wanted to go into engineering, and they were applying to maybe a school that didn't have a great engineering program. Look around South Carolina as you're looking at colleges and universities and determine what college and university might have the best program for what you're interested in pursuing. Another important point I'd like to make here is when you discuss how you're going to pay for college, look at the difference in cost between colleges and universities. Is it going to cost more to stay in state or go out of state? These are important discussion points to have with not only your parents, but even school counselors. Really learn about the environments that you're looking at and the institutions you're looking at attending before you apply and get down to the application process. Take the time to do this when you're visiting colleges and universities and determining where you want to go.
Those are great points, Samantha, and I definitely encourage you to look at the cost between private universities, private colleges, public universities, public colleges, 2- and 4-year, etc., because it will make a difference. And financial aid and all of those scholarships that you're able to apply for, sometimes things even out. So you want to see what your options are. So again, definitely look at in-state tuition versus out-of-state tuition and so forth. If your parents were in the military, you may find a yellow ribbon school which assists in taking military funds that your parents may have earned and using that for a student. So make sure that you're seeing if that school maybe is a yellow ribbon school. And it's definitely important to look at. I think I told you all, my daughter wants to go to medical school. She's going to the Lexington Medical Center Partners Program this summer. I'm hoping that during the 3 weeks at Lexington Medical Center, she's going to be able to ask some of the professionals there, where they went to school and things of that nature, because it does determine, what she does in her 4-year degree. It does determine what medical school she will or will not get into. So it's very important that, you look at those kinds of things as well. Does USC have a higher percentage of folks getting into medical school than Clemson does? Does the College of Charleston have a higher rate? So you need to look at those things specifically. And if you're wanting to go on, to earn advanced degrees, again, look at acceptance rates. If you're wanting to go into law school, look at acceptance rates into law schools as well. Not just what the 4-year is going to take, but what the plan is afterwards. So, lastly, we're going to talk briefly about MEBA and the resources. MEBA, of course, is the Midlands Education and Business Alliance, and on our website, mebasc.com, you are able to find a myriad of wonderful resources. We have a guide on there called Building Your Career that shows parents, students, and educators how to do a resume, a cover letter, things that you should and shouldn't wear for a job interview, and so forth. Talks about email etiquette and having an appropriate email address. You can download that, or your guidance office or career specialist may have those. If you'd like to have one, you're welcome to let us know, and you can download that. Or if your teacher would like a classroom set, they can download that as well, or let us know and we'll get them a classroom set. We have a Be a Part of career brochures, healthcare, IT, lots of different opportunities out there. We have a volunteer opportunity guide. Again, that will give you different phone numbers and contact people to go out and volunteer. As we said, many of your hospitals in the area have volunteer programs during the summer and throughout the year. So I encourage you going into healthcare, definitely try to volunteer at one of your local hospitals or maybe at one of a local clinic. Even a dental office going in, 3, 4, 5 hours a week, if that's what you want to go into, is going to give you some experience so that you can see how things operate. So that guide is online as well. And then, of course, the SCOAS reality check. Make sure that you're going online and taking that assessment to kind of see what guidance it gives you. Lastly, I just encourage you to work with your teachers, your school counselors, your guidance department, your guidance team to include your career specialists in the decision-making process. As we said, summertime is a great time to sit back and reflect on, what you've done this past school year, but it's also a time to start planning, getting excited, going out, visiting colleges, volunteering, and shadowing, learning about opportunities that are out there. So we wish you the best. We encourage you to job shadow, to volunteer, to continue to do things that are going to build your resume to make you an invaluable employee one day in the future. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today, Ms. Call. Lots of great information. I encourage you to go back. MEBA will have this webinar uploaded to our website, and it's a great, valuable resource for you to all visit and pull up with your parents as you enjoy your summer break. Again, thank you for participating in today's webinar, Summer Planning for a Great Future. I'd also like to just take a moment to thank our partnership with Lexington Medical Center. They've been a continued supporter of the Midlands Education and Business Alliance, and they've been very gracious in helping to support the health science, be a part of health science brochure that you can find on our website, as well as today's webinar. We look forward to connecting with you again on the third Thursday of each month. Next year, we're already planning for our itinerary starting in August. We'll have that available online sometime during the summer, and we look forward to connecting with you again during next year. Thank you and have a great summer.